Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 87 of Direwolf20's Age of Engineering series. Last episode we wrapped up trying to craft lots and lots of iridium, and I pretty much left my game running for a day and made enough iridium that I've got some left over after crafting the 24 fusion coils that we need for a fusion reactor from Tech Reborn. Hooray! So let's go ahead and light up this multi-block visual again, so we can kinda get a fusion reactor up and running. That sounds like a good time, doesn't it? Totally. Nice. And 1, 2, 3. Cool. Off. And break and replace to fix the thing. Hey, we've got yes to coils. Nice. All right. So next task. So let's review what we're working on. We want to make a dimensional inscriber so we can make dimensional stuff. There's actually a couple other reasons I want to make some dimensions. One of them being dimensional shards. Because dimensional shards you can only get in RF Tools dimensions. Right? Pretty much, yeah. And you can make all kinds of cool stuff with that, like infused diamond that can be used for the atomic multiplier, and miniature suns from Neotech. No idea what that is, but it looks cool. Oh, it's using the solar panel. Okay, cool. From Solar Flux Reborn. Cool. The tier 6 one, apparently. So the atomic multiplier is definitely something I want to look at making because it's cool. It's really cool. But in order to get all this stuff ready to roll, we're going to need some helium plasma cells, which are made by combining helium-3 and deuterium in a fusion reactor. And you'll notice that it requires 40 million EU to start this reaction. That's what JEI is telling us here. And if we bring up a calculator and we find out we get 32,768 EU per tick, and it has a runtime of 1,024 ticks, we will get 554,432 EU. Long story short, we are about 6.5 million EU short of a net gain on this. Now I looked at like the GitHub, and there's apparently a bug where apparently like to start the fusion reactor the first time it's supposed to cost 4 million EU, and then it should continuously run. But it doesn't do that. Like it resets every time it runs and requires another 40 million EU to start. So I think that's a bug. So I'm probably not going to wind up using this fancy gadget for making actual power, but we will use lots and lots of solar panels in recompense. So that said, I'm pretty sure I'm 1 block over to the side. Much better. So let's get our deuterium, which I'm pretty sure I made ahead of time. So helium plasma cell. Helium plasma cell, helium-3 cell, helium cell. Helium plasma cells require helium-3 and deuterium, right? So helium-3, I think I cooked up a bit of. Yeah, what's up, dudes? This was made, endstone dust gets you helium-3. And you can also throw helium cells in there to get helium-3, 16 helium cells or 16 endstone. So we've got helium-3, and then deuterium, we've also got 16 of that. Remember, that was hydrogen cells. Remember I made a stack of those last episode or 2 episodes ago, right? So a stack became 16 deuterium cells. So that's how I got the 16 of those. So I don't know if it matters. Yeah, it does matter. Cool. So helium-3 on the top, deuterium on the bottom. And then I just have to give it 40 million EU. And then don't explode, because I'll be really upset. Yay, it's not exploding. Are you running? Are you getting power? Are you doing anything? Because you should be getting power, yes? We've got power. Oh, we're kind of low on power here. So let's stop this guy from running for a minute. Because one thing we definitely don't have is a surplus of power here. Right. And what I could probably do is, we should be all right to do this. Yeah, we'll just let it rip. So this guy will finish up his production of that last iridium, and then you're not running, correct? You're not. Good. This thing is running. I do have my mass fab running. What I think I will do is maybe drop this HV solar outside. maybe here's better. Good, lights on. Sorry about the loud noise. Would really love to figure out a way to make it so that I can have a spacesuit and Draconic, but we're not going to spend too much time outside too often, so it's all good. So you're getting a steady 2048 of power, which is cool, which means shortly you should be good. So back to the IC2 room. Once this is done, he should be getting power. I think the molecular transformer is taking all the juice out of the MFSU right now. But once it's done running, we should be getting a steady amount of power. So then we just have to basically dump 40 million EU into that thing, and we should have a helium plasma cell. Just want to confirm that's the case. So you're going to make your bit of iridium here in about a second or two. And that means you should be getting power now? Presumably? You're not. Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. Do you have to get it on, like, the side? Okay, it has to go into the side. Today we learned. Cool. So that's all it was. For some reason, side... Okay, maybe not. I'm shaking my head. I don't understand. It has to go into the side and the top. Because if it's just in the top, it doesn't work. And if it's just on the side, it doesn't work. Cool. Cool. Let's grab our EU reader just to see how much power you're getting right now. So average EU per tick is around 500-ish, which makes sense because I think I have an HV connector in between these guys. It's fine. Yeah, see, there it is. Do I have an MV connector there too? Yeah. Yeah, I do. All right. So how long are you going to take to fill up? Probably a while. I kind of want to run... I forgot I had such a downturn of that stuff. I think what I want to do is run a separate line here. So let's get some energy and dust. And some glass. And while that's cooking, I'm going to run a separate line that's going to be HV. So because I'm going to actually like be outside for a minute or two here, let's do a spacesuit so you guys don't have to get the loud noise banging thing going on. And so that I can fly out there, let's get our angel ring. Cool. And then basically what we'll do, let's because apparently it needs to be connected to multiple sides. Do we have a CF sprayer handy? Ah, but it's empty. Nice. Good enough for now. I think we've got a thing. We've got the fluid with distilled water. We have a fluid solid canning machine with regular water in it. I think we do somewhere. Steam boiler, condenser. Maybe I don't at the moment. Back in a sec, I gotta hook that up. Alright, this should work. So you, and reconnect this thing. You should be getting, oh right, your power is, yeah, dependent on that. Let's run... There, that should be cool. Yeah, power, nice. Alright, so you should be in rich mode. And that should be cool. Perfect. So this entire base is depressurized at the moment because of that, but that's okay. I'm going to remove you so I can just CF spray you. And then get a bit of sand. Just to firm it up a little bit quicker. To do cobble works. Nice. So that should be better. And then we can run this cable here. We should have the resources to make some more of these. I don't know why I don't have these on autocraft. I don't have an explanation for that other than I'm a bum. But that way we should now be able to get a decent power flow into this guy. Hopefully no explosions. I'm assuming that because he's, you know, a fusion reactor, he's capable of tier 4 power, right? Like, does it say even? Fusion coil. I mean, input rate is 8192, so you should be fine. So I'm just going to tap you directly into this line. And you should be, yes, look, you can see it. Nice. And then if we check our EU reader, 2048, nice, beautiful. All right, cool. So we will be back in a minute when this thing is closer to 100%. Right now it's at 2%. We're getting there. Hey, we have ignition. Cool. So literally just as soon as it hit 40 million EU internal storage, it started producing a ton of power, as you can see here. So it used the 40 million that was being dumped into it, and now it is producing power, and we will probably land somewhere around 33 million. And then we will have the thing. So that's actually moving pretty quick, which is cool. I'm assuming that what else can helioplasma cells do? We can get helium cells out of helium plasma cells in a vacuum freezer, or we can get an empty cell from an extractor. I assume there's nothing else that we need this for, because we can get helium cells in other ways, can't we? Yeah, we totally can get it from glowstone, for example. So, yeah, so we've got our helium plasma cell. Cool. So you do seem to be still producing power, which is interesting, because you're out of fuel. Oh, wait, you know what? You're probably just getting power from this guy, right? That would probably be it. Yeah, EU in is 2048. So he's just getting power from our thing. So that's cool. If I remove you... Sweet. Okay. So even though he's still connected underneath, removing that worked. For whatever weird reason. So we've got our helium plasma cell, which means... You guys ready for this? We should have everything we need for a dimensional builder. That should have been an age, by the way. The amount of effort it took to make this one block should have earned us an age. So I feel like my Draconic room, which this guy has plenty of wireless links available, might be a good place for the dimensional builder to chill, right? So we're going to need some other RF Tools dimensions stuff to get going. So let's do this. So the other things we're going to need are a dimensional editor, Dimlet Workbench, yes, for sure, and Dimension Inscriber, yes. So let's get a Dimlet Workbench. That doesn't look too bad. So we just need another crafting table. We need more wood. I just do this every now and then, because why not? Cool. So Dimlet parcels, we've gotten a decent amount of these from all the Enderman farming we've been doing. Do I want to put these in like a crate of some kind? I thought I had storage crates on Autocraft. Don't I have storage crates on Autocraft? Dense gold and dense iron? I guess not. For now, I guess I'll put them in a chest. Because why not? And then we'll consider how we want to handle these later. That sounds cool. So Dimlet Workbench, we should be able to make this thing now. Cool. Good deal. And then you can go away. So this will let me edit my dimlets, right? And then the dimensional inscriber doesn't look too bad either. Easy peasy. So you guys will need power. Here and... Yes, okay. Here. Do you need power? Yeah, you do. To extract your dimlets. Cool. So, so this thing will allow me to create all the dimlets that we may or may not want. This thing will allow me to create dimensions. And this thing will allow me to power the dimensions. Sweet. And remember, like, the more complex the dimension or the better stuff that's in it, the more expensive that dimensional cost will be. So let's start off with just a simple dimlet thing. You know what I might want to do? Central area. Let's teach you how to make this. because we'll probably have a lot of these. Is that a thing there? No, okay. Eventually we may have a lot of those. Cool. So you're just going to be, we'll call it first dim. Cool, nice and creative name. So he doesn't have anything, so basically what we're gonna get is a completely randomized dimension here, right? So we drop this guy in, he's gonna get a bunch of power flowing in, hooray. And we've got a dimension that we can now travel to, sweet. And the dimension itself will start to store energy. Internal buffer of about 40 million RF, I think. So I have no idea what this dimension is gonna look like. And in fact, I have no good way to get there because my dimensional transceiver is back in the overworld. So I guess I could just do that. Teleport to the old base and dial it up from there. So we want to go to first dim, dial once. And what I'm going to do is just use my Draconic Evolution. Oh boy, it's an upside down world. Stuff. I think we're in a... Okay, cool. It's an upside down world. I don't know if I like this world or not. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't want to live in an upside down world. Oh, cool, we've got orbs in here. I wonder if there's anything inside them. Netherrack. Chiseled netherrack. Ah, filled with water, it looks like. Retaw. Upside down water. Neat dimension. Not sure if it's a place I want to live. Retaw. It's backwards water. It's water that I guess floats upwards. That's kind of cool. It is a real. I've actually never seen an upside down dimension. Like I knew they existed, but I've never gotten one. So it's cool. It's just not where I want to be. So we're gonna go home, back to the space station. That's actually kind of neat. And we're gonna get a new dimension. So we're gonna take you out of there. I should have another chest. You. Putting all this stuff away that I don't need. Get me another chest, please. For all the dimensions that we may or may not need. So to get another randomized dimension, we're gonna need another one of you, but now we need one of those digit dimlets. And by adding a digit dimlet, we should have a nice bit of randomization. So this will make us a new randomized dimension. So we'll call this dim, we'll call it dire dim 2. Does that sound cool? Store. Cool. So you charge up. Again, totally randomized, no idea what it's going to be like. But the main thing I want to get is those dimensional shards. That'll be kind of my first attempt at stuff, right? So that's cool. So now we can head to the old base. I should probably just move my matter transmitter. The problem, I guess, is that if I moved my matter transmitter, I would have no way, dire dim 2, dial once, to get from the overworld to the space station. So, alright, what do we have here? Not what I would call an ideal world either, because it's very voidish. Looks like some kind of Sky Islands dimension, which is definitely not what I'd call ideal, because again, I'm looking for a world with lots and lots of terrain that I can mine. We've probably got some nice bits of these things going on, for which I am thrilled. So we've got some nice material, dimlet oak wood, chiseled stone, dark prismarine, other kinds of nice stuff, but still not what I want. So we're going to want another digit dimlet. We're going to try this again. Back to Draconic Age. We are having no luck with randomized dimensions today. The randomization is not going well. That's okay. We'll get one of you. Now I'm going to get a digit 1 dimlet, and this will make it another new dimension. Because remember, if I were to just put this in here and store it, it would link back to the first dimension. And if I put, you know, this in there with a digit 0 dimlet, then it would link to that second dimension. So we want a digit 1 dimlet. We'll call it dire dim 3, store, and we will see what kind of luck this brings us. Dimension's up and running. Head to the old base, dial up Diarim 3. This is going to be an episode of dimension hopping soon. Alright, so at least we have like what looks like some semblance of a normal dimension. Hooray! It's raining and dark, but that's not the end of the world. So let's add new Diarim 3. Commit, lock. Hey skeleton, how's it going? What I'd like to do is maybe sleep through the night at the old base. And maybe that will make it stop being rainy and nighttime in that dimension. It did. Hooray. Ooh, that's a nice looking sky. I like that sky color. That is a nice sky. Cool. Alright, so next order of business. Let's start mining. Does that sound like a kind of a plan? So what I'd like to do now... I believe I left on Neptune. Warning, no oxygen detected. Why? Ah, boots. I'm like, I went out of my way to make sure I was wearing a spacesuit. Why no oxygen detected? So we should have plenty of the stuff that we need here. So with that said, we're going to pick up all this goodies. Cool. And head back to Diarim 3 with it. And we will no longer need you. We can rewear you. And we'll get our builder block here. So let's put you in support preview mode. So that's where you're going to be clearing stuff out, huh? I guess that's fine with me. Sorry, piggy. We'll put a power hook up here. So that you're good. We will put the chest on top here. Ouch. I forgot creepers were a thing in this game. My goodness. Creepers, please. It's been so long since I've had to worry about creepers even existing that I literally didn't even think that they might occur. Cool. So I'm going to turn off preview mode. You should start quarrying now. Go, quarry, go. You're kidding me with the creepers. Is this the creeper dimension or what? Alright, I think it's getting... Yeah, look, it's picking up... Oh no, those are Beacon Diamonds. Are you running or what, dude? Current level the builder is at. I imagine you're actually doing something, but I can't be too sure. Did we get dimensional shards by chance? We did not. Alright, let me troubleshoot this builder for a minute. Oh, now it's running. Now we're talking. Sweet. Okay, cool. So it's running somewhere now. Which is totally a good sign. And we're picking up all kinds of loots. Wish I knew where exactly it was mining at, so I could see the whole building, but it should be fine. I have no idea. I have no idea what the shape card even, how big it is. I just kind of keep using the same one that I've been using, and everything works out. So let me go ahead and chunk load this. Let's see if I was smart enough to keep this within one chunk again. Hooray, I was. Claim chunks, claimed, loaded. We do have more loaded chunks than we're allotted, which a couple people have been saying maybe that's why you're having chunk loading issues. Maybe now is not a bad time to go to the overworld base and see what I can unload at the old base. I'm hesitant to unload stuff at the old base, only because there are some things here still. Such as mostly my wither and mob spawners stuff, right? And by extension, a lot of that stuff connects to the center of the base, so that's a thing that I need to be worried about. And every now and then I swing by and clean up my wool. But I guess I could like unchunk load these areas. So like everything here probably shouldn't be too bad to unload. So let's see. Well, I still want you to be owned, just not chunk loaded. Right? Yeah, that looks fine. So this over here is still loaded. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We totally want this chunk to stay loaded too, because this has my lightning autocrafter in it. This one probably should be. Is this one loaded? No. Okay. They're just claimed. So that's pretty good. It doesn't seem like I got that many loaded chunks, but I totally do. I think I've got some in here too. Unless I unloaded these already, which I may have. Yeah, I didn't. I don't even need to claim them anymore, to be honest with you. There's nothing here. Okay. Back to this dimension. And load this dude. Cool. Okay. So that's good. So you're running. You're doing your thing. Have we gotten any dimensional shards? Not yet. That's what we're looking for. Dimensional shards. Or dimensional shard ore. In theory, it should exist in this dimension somewhere. Where, I couldn't tell you. But it should exist. So we will just have to kind of wait for this thing to run. So I'll be back in a minute after it's run for a bit and see if we get any shard ore. Oh, we've gotten dimensional shards. Nice, we're getting some. Beautiful, that's what I like to see. All right, nice. So back to the old, well, let's go back to the space station. What I should be able to make now, among many other things, is a dragon dimension, which we may or may not even need, because I've recently discovered something really nice. And that is the multiplier. We may want to abuse this thing a little bit, because it's really nice. So it needs infused diamonds, which require dimensional shard ore, which again, the only way to get dimensional shard ore is through dimensions. So we absolutely still needed to make that dimension thing. And hopefully, 24 dimensional shards, that's not bad. That's a good start. We can use dimensional shards for all kinds of other cool stuff too. But for now, we'll want to like do an infuser maybe. We'll see. A few things here and there that we may want to look at doing. I'm just kind of assuming that you're still running. Where's my mechanism room? This is forestry. There's mechanism. You're running still, right? Yeah. You're still getting resources. You can tell because like things are getting populated here. Cool. All right. Back to the Draconic room. Well, it doesn't really matter where I am. So let's do Multiplier, because this thing is actually really insane and really nice. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, we've got pretty much everything we need. We just need a fabrication chamber, which doesn't look like it would be too bad. So reinforced iron ingot and blocks and a storage chamber, which we may have. Do we have a? I thought we had a storage. We do have a storage chamber, though it says dirty on it. So I don't know what that means, but we want some reinforced. So we're going to want 2 of you, and while you're at it, 2 of you. Cool. So you should be crafting. Nice. That won't take too long to make. 1 of the reinforced blocks. Okay, going nicely. Wireless out of range. Happens every time. Will that work? Nice. Fabrication chamber. Beautiful. Atomic multiplier. Well, that was nice and easy because we had most of the stuff, courtesy of the things that happen. So, sweet. How are we for plugs, by the way? Just out of curiosity. We've got 9 calculator plugs. Those can be used for like a really nice passive energy system, but it is relatively expensive. So the atomic multiplier. This thing, you guys. This thing. Where am I going to want to put you? I'm probably going to want to put you in this room because you're also... So this has kind of been... This started off as my Draconic crafting room, but it's quickly turned into my high power room because it's got the, the Wyvern tier wireless energy crystal. So atomic multiplier living in this room, probably not a terrible idea. This thing is so OP. So let's say we wanted more dragon hearts. The atomic multiplier is literally an item dupe mechanic. So you need 7 different circuits to go in this thing. Right, so just 7 circuits. I don't even know if they have to be different. I guess we'll find out if they have to be different in a second. We put an item in the top left slot. We bind power to it. And I think once it's full with its internal buffer, and wow, you are actually... So it does have a large power requirement, to be fair. A rather large one. I might need to up this thing, because this is almost slow. Almost. Well, it's going to fill up its internal buffer, and then we'll be cool. So I guess it doesn't run until the internal buffer's full, so let's come back in a minute. Well, that sped things up a little bit. Cool, so it's an internal buffer of 1.5 billion RF, right? I put a Wyvern Energy Relay Crystal in there. I'm going to actually unbind you, because that should be plenty of power transfer now. Cool. Doing it that way was just faster. So you put almost any item in the top left slot. There's a few items that are blacklisted, specifically as a result of the mod pack creator. And any 7 circuits. That's it. You just put the item in the top left slot, any 7 circuits, and 1.5 billion RF is required for this machine to run. And what does it do? Well, I kind of hinted at the fact that it's an item duplication machine, and you would say, oh, it probably just doubles whatever item you put in the top left slot. You're close. It does not just double it. It does a little bit more than that. Just a little bit more. We will see in a second here when you've completed. Ta-da! It quadruples it. Any item. Any old item can be quadrupled, which is pretty shenanigans for me. So there are limits, like I said. There's a couple that don't work. I think these hybrid solar panels and ultimate hybrids don't work, but it looks to me like HV solars work. So let's do this. Let's get an export bus. And let's get a fuzzy card. Advanced circuit doohickey. So that shouldn't be too hard to make. You're working on making pure soda. So that will take a minute, actually. But while we're waiting, hopefully I can run... How much channelageness do we have over here? 6? I can tap into another one of these. So cables, smart cables. No, not you. Minor dire derps going on here, don't mind me. So I could set an export bus here to export. I'm gonna say fuzzy. Are you done yet? Still making pure Sardis. Come on. There we go. Cool. And now it's making its refined circuit board, which shouldn't take too long. And Bob's your uncle. Sweet. So now we can make our fuzzy card. Nice. Which will mean that you can export any metadata. Because if we look at circuits with... Is F3H still on? Still? No. F3H. Advanced tooltips. If we look at these circuits, we'll note that they all have the same item ID, but different metadata. Well, that's what the number is after the 6, or after the slash. So like the 7, the 6, the 5, etc. So these are all just different metadatas. It's just like wool. So it's the same item ID, but different metadata. See? And that means that we can fuzzy card export it and just say, hey, any old circuits will do. So in theory, I should be able to just do U. Now, this guy is 54, so the stable one is the same item ID as well. But frankly, at this point, we are getting circuits at such a rapid rate that I really don't care. So if we just do that, would you be smart enough to export bus that thing? I could have sworn that you were working. When I tested this in the past, I was able to item duct it, I think. So it might need to go into the side. Which if it does, just means a little bit of dire wire. Let's just test it. Because I could bring it up the side here, but then that'll be like an open space. So I'll need to kind of do it inside. It's not going to be the greatest design ever, but it'll be fine. So you do have channels, right? Good. So fuzzy this. Come on, this was totally working before. I know this was working before. See? Works like that. Why you know export bus? If I took fuzzy out and told you circuits analyzed. So you don't like exporting with fuzzy on it? That's weird. That should totally work. Match any. Match any circuit. Okay, now you're working. You were just being a nuisance. So it'll probably export all of that one type of circuit. Which is fine, because this is one of the types that isn't used for much of anything. It would look like. Yeah, it's definitely not the type of circuit that's used for, like this one's used for the enhanced circuit boards, right? Like this one isn't used for anything, so that's fine if it uses this one first. So this will just keep any circuits available at all times. I kind of almost want to like test this real quick. Just to make sure, for whatever reason. The bottom no-go. Come on, you can do it. I guess it's sided, which is a bummer, because it means cable's running up. But we can at least facade it. It is what it is, my friends. Important life lesson. Sometimes it is what it is. Fuzzy card, go. So at this point you should start doing your thing. Hintity hint hint, run. So weird. Maybe there has to be an item in here? Nope. Why would you like all of a sudden start working and then like all of a sudden stop working? See, look, now it's accepting items? What? That's weird, right? Like putting a hopper on it for like a second and all of a sudden it's behaving. Not sure what that's all about. But we've got the fuzzy card in there. I'd rather it not use stable ones if I'm being honest, but are you going to insert items now? You are, okay. And if I turn off the fuzzy card? Okay. So debating whether or not to leave the fuzzy card in there, maybe I'll just leave fuzzy card off, and if we get to a point where we've used so much, we get these circuits pretty quickly. And we can probably even specify that we want to get them. Damaged circuits. So the extraction precision chamber can get that from Cobble, right? So if I wanted to, I could easily set that up with a precision chamber and always get these type of circuits. But in theory, this should work. So now if I pop this heart in here, right, 1.5 billion RF later, and we will have 4 more hearts. So, I mean, it turns 1 heart into 4. So really, it kind of triples it, right? Like, you get +3. It quadruples it. I don't know, however you want to math that out, right? But you get +3. So that's cool. And we should also work with high voltage solars. So we will get 1 high voltage solar turned into 4 high voltage solars. It's a little bit OP. But at this stage of the game, I'm okay with it. Are you guys okay with it? I mean, it is specifically mentioned even in the creative age. You can put the atomic multiplier from calculator to good use. It replicates items for the cost of 7 circuits and 1.5 billion RF. Be aware that some items are blacklisted. So I did test this in my creative test world, like the one where I have cheats enabled, just to see like what stuff is and isn't. And then I looked at I think I was able to get a high voltage solar in there. Yeah, I was. Nice. By the way, you can't shift click into here. You have to manually try placing the item in to make sure it's going to work. And obviously, you only want to duplicate things that are really hard to get, but that's pretty cool. Active. Nice. So now the power is flowing, and 1.5 billion RF later, we will have something cool. So, in fact, let me keep this on, because I just want to real quick. We are at 28 billion RF. So we actually... I'm not going to say we're, like, hurting for RF, By the way, how's our shards going now that we've been doing this for a bit? Nice, 61 dimensional shards. Very cool. I'm not saying we're hurting for RF, but like, technically we can do this about 20 times before we run out of power, which is a lot of times, right? And we could totally get some like really nice solars or something. So it might be something we might want to consider, right? I don't know. There's lots of ways to swing this and abuse this, I guess, if you will. But like I said, there are a few things blacklisted. And to see, you'll know it's blacklisted if you place it in there and it won't allow you to click it into the slot. If you can't click it into the slot, then yes, it's blacklisted. So hey, that's 4 HP solars all of a sudden. Nice. That's shenanigans right there. I'm going to put like 2 Dragon Hearts in there just to get a few more Dragon Hearts. Now I'm not sure if I want to create a Dragon Age or if I just want to dupe Dragon Hearts like this, right? I'm pretty sure you can't, like, AE2 and Refined Storage, neither of those mods were very happy if you ever said, like, it doesn't handle item duping very well if it's just the same item to make it. So, like, if you say, place Dragon Heart in, get 4 Dragon Hearts out, it never works very well. Because A, like, it just doesn't handle it too great. And B, if it goes, like, to say... So what I could do, technically, is probably set up some kind of loop, right? But basically what happens is you usually wind up saying, like, oh, I'm going to use my last Dragon Heart for this craft, and then I'm going to have to make more. But then it doesn't have the Dragon Heart, it needs to make more. So, it, like, you know, that kind of stuff happens. But, yeah, that's Dragon Heart duping right there. That's pretty slick. It's hilarious. Maybe throw an accelerator card into this guy just to... Come on, make it a little bit faster, would you? You really take a long time to spit out circuits, don't you? Oh wow, we have actually used quite a lot of these. What is going on with our circuits? There's no way we used that many already, is there? I mean, we used 7. We've only run it a handful of times. We haven't run it 20 times yet, so it shouldn't have used 140 circuits. That's very weird to me. Wonder if you're exporting stacks at a time. No way you'd be doing that, right? I would hope not. I'm going to take those accelerator cards out because now I'm nervous that it would do something silly like that. Oh well. We'll get those circuits back easily enough. And like I said, we can use the precision chamber, which I think I even have one of somewhere. Precision chamber. I thought I had one. It's not in the system, so I don't know where it is. It might be downstairs. But hey, how cool is that? Lots of Dragon Hearts. Definitely faster than previous methods. Alright, back in a minute. Oh my, I had so much fun duping items, I didn't realize we were way past the wrapping up point, so it's wrapping up point. Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We got a lot done today. We've created dimensions, we got a fusion reactor, we created an item duping mechanic, intended item duping mechanic. It's not even a cheating item duping mechanic, it's meant to be duping. Soren would have a blast with this game. So for now, Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.